is going on, y'all? What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy, killablackmamba. Here to talk some little gaming news. It's been forever, but thought I'd get on and speak my mind just based on a few days of what's been going on with Sony basically trying to, I guess, overhype what's going on with Activision Blizzard, the acquisition, going at the meeting and saying that they basically can't compete. Call of Duty is so big, and even if they had the time to make another studio, they wouldn't be able to make something that could compete on that same level. And it's kind of awkward because some of the other studios, the Capcoms, the Googles, everybody else, they're saying that it's competitors for them. Not necessarily saying that they'll be more profitable or more successful, but at the same time, it's like they can compete. And then it's crazy because Microsoft on the other end is saying, oh, well, they don't have any must-have play games that are truly unique. And that's kind of crazy too to say that, because in actuality, I mean, I feel that Call of Duty isn't some unique special game, but it sells. It's good. It's something you could get on and just shoot people when you just want to play something. And that serves a lot of people. It's not crazy hard, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. And I think Sony should have honestly went the other route and mentioned some of the other stuff. Because, I mean, yeah, you do have Call of Duty, but at the same time, Candy Crush is big for mobile. Them having Crash, that's huge for platformers. Having Spyro is huge. Having Diablo is huge also. We haven't seen a Guitar Hero in a while, but that could be back. Hearthstone is good on the PC scene if that comes to console. You never know what could happen. Overwatch is pretty huge. Them having the second one. I think having those types of games on Game Pass, like, it's just so much. Skylanders, almost forgot about that, to be honest. StarCraft, that could be brought from PC. And then you have, I guess, the Tenchu Legacy games. We haven't seen Tenchu in a long time. It's a fossil almost. True Crime. Haven't seen that in a while. So, I mean, there's so much that could pop out of the Activision and Blizzard acquisition. And, I mean, obviously Game Pass is super huge and it's at about 25 million subs. But, I mean, at the same time, like, Sony, I think, should have brought up the Bethesda purchase, to be honest, because that adds some of the other IPs. It adds the Dishonored's to Game Pass. It adds Doom. I know we've just had a Doom somewhat recently, but another Fallout would be huge. Another Prey will be huge. Like another Quake. Like, that's the thing. It's so many shooters that you can add to Game Pass, and I know Xbox gets that little label of, oh, this is the shooter box, this is the shooter box. And I mean, to a certain extent, that's kind of right, because you have Halo, you have Gears, you have Call of Duty, you have Quake, you have Wolfenstein, you have Doom. You have a lot of shooters. A lot of shooters. Maybe some of these universes can be crossed over. You never know. And I mean, have series like Rage. I've never got to play Rage. I've wanted to try it. I probably should try it. StarCraft. Well, not StarCraft. Starfield coming out next year. That'll definitely be huge. Elder Scrolls. I mean, it seems like they take about 10 years to do Elder Scrolls, but it's usually good, and you get about 100, 200 hours, sometimes more than that, depending on the person. The Evil Within, I played that first game. That was really fun. It's always Wolfenstein. Anytime you can take out Nazis, that's usually a niche audience that's pretty awesome. That's always fun to have, to be honest. And then, I mean, on the other hand, you still have Undead Labs, which they're working on State of Decay 3. And then you have Playground, who did Forza Horizon. And I think they're also doing the Fable game, the new reboot of the Fable game. Then you have Compulsion behind We Happy Few. I thought it was an okay game. Ninja Theory, I liked the first Hellblade, and I thought, what's that game? Heavenly Sword, I thought that was good. The DMC reboot. I know that not everybody liked it, but I liked the combat. I liked some spins of the story. So they showed they have the talent, and then the work on the initiative, who they bought for the Tomb Raider game. That, well, not for Tomb Raider, but for Perfect Dark. That could be perfect. Like, I think they've honestly done a lot of good things, and I think that's the route they should have went, to be honest, if they wanted to block the acquisition. But I mean, at the same time, it's kind of hard to say it will be a monopoly, because it wouldn't be. But at the same time, that will be huge. But I think it's a bad look for Sony to say they couldn't compete, especially after having bought Bungie to basically get Destiny, even though they'll still be independent, and on top of that, they'll still be multiplat. But I mean, you bought them. It's like you bought them, and now you just make it look like this isn't a big deal. Like, I didn't get the whole ideology with that. It'd be different if they didn't buy it. Because to say nothing can compete with it, it's like, what does that say about Uncharted or The Last of Us or Horizon? It's like, you kind of underselling your IPs. Now, granted, they don't come out every year, so you'll never see the same profit. But I think they should have held back. And I think the other thing about them saying that they can't compete, like, that theory's kind of thrown out the window, because Nintendo Switch has gotten to what, 114, 115 million console sales, and there's not a lot of Activision Blizzard games on there. Certainly no Call of Duty that I could think of. I can't really remember a lot of stuff that the Switch had. As far as, well, they got the Crash. I think they got Crash 4 and the collection, but they didn't honestly get a lot of these games, to be honest. I'm not even sure a lot of them could even run, to be honest. So I mean, that's the thing. It's like, man, they're getting along pretty well. I think the Switch did get the Tony Hawk collection, so they've gotten a few. And Microsoft doesn't seem like they're gonna keep games off. But I mean, looking at the way Sony was doing the deal with Final Fantasy 16, I wouldn't be shocked if Microsoft just said, okay, we'll give you Call of Duty, but we'll take most of everything off. Maybe they take off Crash and Spyro. Doesn't seem like they're going to take off Overwatch. So the service-based games, like if you give them Hearthstone or something, I could see them probably still having that. But I don't see them really letting everybody get Crash or Spyro, or it's a lot of stuff that they could honestly keep to themselves and maybe should. But I mean, I guess it's them looking out for their own bank and to have some success. But I think honestly keeping a lot of these IPs makes Game Pass that more appealing. And I think even for people who are PC gamers, like, the question would be, do you buy Call of Duty on Steam for $70, or do you just, for Game Pass, just pay $10 a month or $15 like I do if you want the Game Pass Ultimate? And the narrative seems to be that a lot of Call of Duty players get Call of Duty, play it for 3 months, and kind of just taper off a bit. So even if you do it at that rate, that's what, $30 you spent, and you get all these other games, as opposed to just dropping the $70 on a Call of Duty, which you probably won't play for a year. So I mean, it's very, very, very strong incentive. And I mean, I guess it's interesting to see where they go from here. Like, I don't know if Microsoft's going to buy any more studios. They don't seem to be buying studios, but maybe Sony. Maybe Sony buys Square. That's been a big narrative, that they'll purchase Square, and I mean, it only makes sense, I guess. But at the same time, they haven't had to purchase a lot of these studios to get exclusives. Because honestly, I remember having PlayStation 1, and they had Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and 9 and Tactics. And they didn't own those IPs. They didn't own Metal Gear Solid. They didn't own a lot of the IPs that they had, to be honest. They didn't own Final Fantasy X. They didn't own the Metal Gears that were there. So, I mean, maybe they could just get by paying to publish the game and then just decide we won't release it on Xbox, and then maybe the Switch isn't strong enough to allow you to release it on something else. So that's a good idea that I think honestly they could do. But I mean, Microsoft's idea is different. Like, they don't seem to like the third party deals, or I purchased this, you purchased that. No, it seems like they want to have the control of the IP, which I can understand. Which is why I didn't understand why Sony in the first place even went out there to get Bungie, knowing that Bungie would still be independent and they would still make games multi-plat. It's like, do you even have creative control? Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you reap the profits, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not a bad thing, but it seems like they definitely paid quite a bit, and it seems like Sony doesn't, well, not Sony, but Nintendo really doesn't purchase too many studios. It seems like they just kind of build their own thing, but Sony, they've bought a lot of studios, whether it was a long time ago or recent. Microsoft is kind of doing a lot more of that now, which is good because they didn't have a lot of studios. This Xbox One generation, they didn't have a lot of studios. And that was an issue maybe they should have fixed, a lot of internal issues, but it seems like they're all in now. So I think it'd definitely be interesting to see where they go from here. And I guess that's pretty much it. So I guess I'll probably get on the video pretty soon again if it's any other gaming news. But this is KBM signing out. Alright, peace.